2017 Ram diesel dually that hauls my Northern Lite Camper around with no effort whatsoever. It doesn't even know that that camper's on its back, and it hauls ass like my dual quad 57 Chevy back when my old high school days. This diesel Ram 3500 is an SLT. It's built more as a worker's truck with a crew cab, so it's built to carry heavy items, go on rough roads, and it gets the job done as comparing to a Ford. Now you got to put about $1,000 worth of airbags and stabilizers just to carry a camper on the back. This SLT Ram, you don't have to do anything with it. It just goes. It's very, very stable in high winds. It's got diesel exhaust braking. When you go down the mountain passes, I can actually drive this truck with just my right thumb alone, using cruise control and the diesel exhaust braking system. I mean, make my day, huh? Now this truck, I have had to do no suspension mods whatsoever. It will go down the highway just as smooth as can be at 75 miles an hour and get about 12.5 miles to the gallon. This is probably the only flame camper you'll see on the road. When I boondock for weeks at a time in places, I put these cardboard cylinders over my windshield wipers to keep the sun from eating up the windshield wiper blades, because them blades get expensive. On the front, I got my KTM 200 off-road bike mounted on a special rack that I made to carry it around, and I designed it so the headlights shine between the tire and the fender, so I have no obstructions of the headlights. On the front, I've got one of 8 cameras mounted on this truck, so I can see what's ahead, and when I'm in town and I park it, I can see how close I am to the curb. And on off-road 4-wheel drive roads, or in town when I pull up to park in parking spaces, so I don't clean out somebody's door with this front rack. I have a rear-mounted camera on the back, so when I'm backing up, or I can even check out what traffic's behind me. There's another camera that I have mounted for rear view to check the traffic behind me. I have a camera mounted on each side of the truck on the sides, so I can monitor who's behind me and what's next to me when I'm backing up in the forest and that, trying to juggle my truck around to get it to the best position for the sun to shine on the solar panels. As many of you know, I'm a motorcycle junkie, and I've raced every kind of race you can imagine. Off-road, arena cross, motocross, flat track. And I've used this bike to lay out the Mauna Kea 200 2-day endurance race. 200 miles, 100 miles every day. And this bike has been in the Puna jungles, the Mauna Loa rainforests, across nasty lava flows, and up to top of Mauna Kea at 13,690 foot level, and it's just run great all the time. And now I'm on the mainland looking for the holy grail of gnarly trails to ride, and I'm Just turned 81, and this motorcycle has kept me alive because one day on the island of Kauai, on the Garden Island Hare and Hound, I got 2 miles into that event and I just was totally out of breath, and I said to myself, Gasser, you got to quit smoking if you even want to finish one of these events. And that day I quit cold turkey. So motorcycles saved my life. It never looked back, and been racing ever since. This is Chopper, my guard dog. I never have to feed him, water him, give him a bath. When I pull up to stoplights, people point at this dog with an "oh my God" look on their face. Carjacker, think twice before you try anything. Now there's a badass pit bull stare if I ever seen one. Don't try to rip this truck off. In the cab of the big old Ram, I got it somewhat set up user-friendly. I got 2 LED screens on the dash that monitors 8 video cameras. 1 up front, 3 in the back, and even 1 underneath the truck I have a magnet on it and place it anywhere I want to monitor what's going on. And I got 1 on each side of the camper for side clearance, and 1 mounted way up on the top of the camper so I can check for tree limbs or anything that's hanging low. Up here I mount my smartphone so I can just glance up and see the maps and where I'm traveling and where I'm going. In the crew cab part of the truck, I took out the back seat and I built a platform that holds a great big Coleman cooler, packed to the gills with all kinds of different foods. This is my food supply. I could probably live an easy 2 months with all the food that I've got stored in here. I have 2 containers behind that. The one on this side contains oils and things I use for the KTM. Here's where I put my gold prospecting backpack with everything I need when I go out looking for gold and gems. In the rear right side passenger crew cab part, I have 3 7-gallon water containers, drinking water only, that I fill up whenever I get a chance, where you have to pay for water that's all filtered out in a machine. Or if need be, I could just fill them up with a hose, and I don't trust that water, so I run it through the Berkey filter that I have in the camper. And underneath here is also storage area for a conglomerate of things that I use on the road. I have a sluice box for when I do my gold panning and prospecting under there. And I have my motorcycle backpack all full with supplies and that when I go riding. I got my Garrett metal detector, my motorcycle riding gear bag, plus another container under that holds more riding gear. Okay, ladies, I'm ready.